Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope you guys are having a great hump day. Apologize for being a little bit late. We are actually missing one of our co-hosts. We don't know where Brother Roz, a.k.a. the Rain Man, is at the moment. Hopefully everything's okay. Like I said, we had talked to him about an hour ago and let him know we're going to be coming in, or I was coming in hot. I'm coming in hot because I've been on the road most of the day, but at least I'm not this guy.
Oh, big run. Oh, he fumbled. Oh, he fumbled. Shit.
He's still.
Big play, Slay.
Might be what Philly
Now he about to lose his mind.
He hasn't seen the play yet.
Please tell me why you mentioned that. Wait a minute.
And without further ado, you know him as a.k.a. Mr. Wolf. Wrong. Okay. Wait a minute. I got the wrong one. Hang on. Damn. Broadcast media in full effect here. Gotta make sure I get the right screen. Stu, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, sir. Doing good. Just dropped the Discord link in there. I'm excited about our Cowboys. Today, for me personally, was a good day. I've been getting home from therapy early, so getting to get a few more things done, and I'm looking forward to this week's slate of games and the Jalen Smith news.
Okay.
Thank you for your service, Jalen.
Yeah, that was
New sheriff in town, Micah Parsons and crew. I wish Jalen all the best in his new destination.
Okay, so this is kind of cool. Okay.
What's happening?
Well, I did this by accident, but it's kind of like, okay, so nope, that's not the right one still. Okay, hang on. Let's see if I've got this right now. Okay. There we go. It's like we're looking down a tunnel. It's like over and over and over and over again. There we go. There we go.
You're right.
All right. Huh?
Let me take this call real quick. I think that might have been Ross.
Okay. All right. So while we're waiting for it, go ahead, Stu. Take the call. Shout out to Dave, Bobby Ice, Alicia. How you doing, Alicia? Forgive me. It's been a long day. I started out about 5 o'clock this morning getting up, drove about 320 miles, been putting down flooring, building cabinets and countertops and all that. And, of course, y'all don't want to hear about all the stuff that I've had to do, but that's where we are because we want to take care of you, the fan, with all the news on the Dallas Cowboys. And was that Roz? No. Okay. All right. Roz, we hope you're okay. Dak MVP, comeback player of the year. Pizzle said, I'm on the clock. Okay. I don't know how I got drawn into Michael Anthony's belt that he bet with Philly 500 that Philly welched on and then bet it with Philly with Cop Pizzle. And now somehow I am supposed to shave my head. I'm sorry. That's some crazy fraternity, young man, dildo up your rear end kind of crap. I'm not all for that. So he can call me out all he wants to, Call me. Okay. I don't give a rat's ass. I told him what I wanted to bet because I want to make him my son. Right now, I've already got Philly 500 as one of my kids. I want to make the New York Stinking Giant another one, and then I want to make Rio because I want to have a shirt.
Oh, no.
I want to have a shirt
The whole NFC
where
East.
I'm the daddy, and I have all the NFC East right there's my babies. That's what I'm going to bet. That's my bet. So he's on the clock. How about that? So how about that one? Huh? Who's your daddy? I mean, he's always talking about making some babies. Wouldn't you want to have Mark Holmes saying, hi, Dad? Me and Baby Doll, right? Am I crazy? So
It's always fun as fans to watch you guys go at it.
Is it? Okay. So when you heard about Jalen Smith, last night being released. What was your thought on that? Were you shocked?
I wasn't surprised. The timing threw me off, but we've seen the writing on the wall. The timing did throw me off, but when you put the pieces together, and Neil's coming back off of COVID, they couldn't get anybody to trade for him. And regardless of what you believe about the locker room and whether he was mouthing off in the locker room or not, or being a malcontent or not, it's not hard to imagine the awkwardness in the locker room for a guy like a Micah Parsons that you want to have as the leader of your defense now. And the guy that he's supposed to be taking his job, who's getting paid 100 times more than he is sitting there in the locker room. And it was time to go. And we're not on the hook for $9.2 million next year if he gets hurt. We can spend that on Randy.
Yeah, I wonder if some of the pieces, forgive me, the parts that we're hearing now are, of course, spin from the Dallas Cowboys. You heard Van Der Esch kind of going off, basically, saying that, this is our job, our livelihood, and things like that. And, I don't talk about your job and how you, what you do and how much you make and things like that. And, you can be a veteran in the place for 7 years, and then all of a sudden tomorrow you're traded and you got to uproot your family and everything else. So he didn't seem too happy about it. And that may be that he's also looking at it and saying, I didn't get my 5th-year contract. When they got rid of Jalen, what's going to be going on with me at the end of this year? And this is, as much as people, I did a live stream last night. It was crazy because, some people, the Cowboys don't want to win, because Jalen Smith, he's depth. But here's the thing. You can't have $9.2 million sitting on the bench. You made him captain. He's not going to be happy that he's not playing. And if he did get hurt and then you get stuck for another $9.2 million, I mean, this is.
And with depth, you've got a guy like Cox that we get to start seeing now. He gets to get real playing time in spurts. He gets actual playing time to develop, where Jalen, Cox can cover. And if he's not so light in the ass with his hits, it can help in the run defense. Let's get him on the field. We have depth. So $9.2 million if he gets hurt next year. No.
I'm going to say that this is a learning situation for the Cowboys.
It sucks on a human end because he's a great person from all accounts, and he's a great story, and I do appreciate his service here. But to be honest, I'm happy that we could move forward or the team itself can move forward from the awkwardness that had to have been in the locker room.
Well, I'm going to give you actually the perfect scenario, or the same matching scenario that we probably learned from. I said about 2 years ago, I said Tyrone Crawford. I said I love Tyrone Crawford. He's a mentor, he's a great leader and everything else, but Tyrone Crawford wasn't worth the $9 million he was getting paid. And people would say, oh, no, you're wrong. Tyrone Crawford, he can play, defensive end. He can play tackle. He does the dirty work. Are you crazy? We can't live without Tyrone Crawford. That was 2 years ago. That year, he ended up hurting his hip. He played in about 3 games. $9 million. Came back last year after double hip surgery, another $9 million. So you sit here and you look and say, the guy was injured. He was older. $18 million, right? I love the guy. He's a great leader on the field, the team, team captain, all that. But it's a young man's game, and your best ability is your availability. People, they got mad at me. People that actually, send me birthday presents and stuff like that. They thought I was literally the devil. How dare you? What's happening, Sheila? How are you doing? How dare you say something like that? But in hindsight, you look at it and say, damn, last year when he did play, he's got the middle of the field. He's outside, and it was the parting of the Red Sea. And you look at that and say, yeah, that was $9 million right there. And so, in essence, the Cowboys are saying, yeah, we could hold on to Jalen Smith and, for this year and cut him at the end of the year. But if he gets injured, we could be on, keeping some of that money and so on.
And it's not like we didn't try to trade him.
Right.
We've been trying to trade him. And the trade
David
deadline
Wiley,
is
what's up?
I think the trade deadline's around week 8 or after the game's end, week 8.
But nobody would.
So why keep him around for a few more games when you know you can't trade him?
Yeah,
risk anything.
And that's Jerry's fault for making the contract that he did. I mean, he ended up thinking that Jalen Smith, much like he did with a lot of players like Marion Barber and Miles Austin and guys like that, they made these 1-year wonders, and injury history, and you end up honing up a whole bunch of money, and then all of a sudden it didn't kind of work through. I'll say that this is kind of a new era for the Cowboys. I think that the Cowboys are now looking at it and kind of saying, you know what, we're not going to make those mistakes anymore. When you look at Jalen Smith's contract and $9.2 million, and you got Keanu Neal and Malik Hooker and Dontre Moore. You got some guys that are looking that are saying, okay, I got 5 or 6 of these guys for the price of one Jalen.
Look at the young guys. Look at the cheap guys that are a little bit younger.
That are performing, yeah. And the problem for next year is, people think that, we restructured Dak Prescott's contract, so we're going to roll that money over the next year. Guys, we only have $4.3 million left. That's it. $4.3 million. It's not a whole. And if you sign anybody, that's coming out of that. So it's not as much money as you think. And we already are talking about being at $210 million being the ceiling for the salary cap. We're $20 million over right now. And you start talking about a Randy Gregory. You start talking about a Connor Williams. You start talking about, Keanu Neal and Malik Hooker and Dontre Moore. Did I say Randy Gregory? You've got
Randy's here. They're getting that done.
Yeah,
That's
right. But and Michael Gallup. You've got a lot of guys. You got a lot of guys that have no contract for next year, and you at the moment
30 some odd guys.
Yeah, at the moment you don't have the money to pay them. So when we say you're at $230 million next year, that's before you sign any of those guys. So
help saving $9.2 million next year.
Yeah. So you save that much. Okay. So now we're $12 million over. Okay. So do you want to try and keep Micah Gallup? Do you want to try and keep Randy Gregory? Do you want to try and keep Connor Williams? Do you want to try and keep? The list just goes on and on and on. Of players that do not have a contract.
What we're going to be forced to do more so than ever, unless they pull some of those triggers in some of the contracts, we're going to have to believe in Will McClay and this coaching staff during the draft. And believe in these young guys we got this year, having the experience coming on next year, even stronger with a new group of young guys coming in to add a little bit more kick in the ass with the youth movement that's building a core that's going to turn into something special for us for the next couple of years.
Darth Vader, what's up? I see you changed your name, my man. The Cowboys will always be the Cowboys no matter how good they are. And the Giants will be the Giants as well, which is trash. So, okay. Interesting thing that the Giants actually, we heard rumors that the Giants wanted to get Jalen Smith. And, of course, we know about trying to sign, division foes to be able to rat out the calls and the system and everything else, which would have been the reason why the Giants were trying to hurry up and make a move for him. That he signed with the Packers is kind of interesting. And one of my sources there kind of said that he has a feeling that the Cowboys and the Packers would meet in the playoffs, and that's one of the reasons why Jalen Smith signed there.
I don't know a whole lot about their linebacking crew. I know they've had some injuries and they need some linebacker help, but that would make some sense. They know that we're going to be a playoff threat, and there's a likelihood that we play Green Bay in the playoffs again. Why not have a guy that can help you out a little bit? probably didn't cost him anything, right? Veteran minimum, you said. So
Yeah, well, and here's where David Puno, he said D-Law is next to be cut. And see, I don't want to touch that one, but in the back of my mind,
look at his contract, and could we a move like that? Could we do that at the end of the year?
Well, here's the thing: we restructured his deal.
I think you'd be able to find a trade partner for D-Law, though.
Well, depends on how he comes back. You know, he had back surgery. Now he has the foot surgery. And if he misses half the season and then, you know, having a foot surgery, you need some time to rehab and get the strength back. So, you know, there's going to be time for him to have to get back into shape. He's a $27 million hit next year. Did you hear me on that one? $27 million cap hit.
Chest started hurting for a second when you said that.
He's 12.7% of the cap for next year.
D-Law, I love D-Law, but if Steven and Jerry can find a way to get it done, he won't be on the team next year. He'll be playing somewhere else. We'll save a little bit of money. We'll let a guy like a Chauncey Golston and Odigizua and all these other guys, Gregory and the crew.
Well, here's the thing.
Hold down the fort and throw some draft picks at it.
Until you're forced to change, it's hard for people to change. When you think of before the pandemic, how companies were like, oh, no, we don't want people to work from home. We don't know that we can trust them working from home, that they'll actually do their job. We need them in the office so we can keep an eye on them. But then the pandemic happened and shit.
More productive at home.
They have to work from home. Now, we've been forced to do this. And now they realize, wait a minute. With you working at home, you know, I'm not paying for that AC. I'm not having to pay for somebody to come in and clean the office. You know, that toilet paper that you're wiping your ass with, I ain't having to buy that. You know, I'm not providing coffee anymore. I don't need as big a space. So all of a sudden it's kind of like, yeah, this isn't such a bad idea after all. And so here's the problem is the Cowboys without DeMarcus Lawrence there is getting more pressure on the quarterback than they were before. Between Micah Parsons and OC, they've got like 27 pressures. OC's only a part-time player. Micah has only been a defensive end for 3 games.
Right.
So you start looking at this, and you know, if you have more and more games, you start thinking, okay, the world didn't end without you.
Last played defensive end in high school.
Yeah. Right.
And if I forgot to mention his name earlier, it's only because I don't want to think of him as a defensive end. I want him in the middle of the field, but really using him the way they're using him everywhere, wherever.
Well, let's see. Here's the thing. And see, this is where, to me, I'm looking at the grand picture. And maybe I'm too conspiracy theorist here or not. But, you know, today La'el Collins put in an injunction trying to stop the NFL from the suspension. It's only 2 more games left, right? And you start thinking after Jalen Smith gets cut because his playing time is down, here's the problem for La'el Collins. All of a sudden, the world didn't end when he was out for these 3-game suspension. Terrence Steele, who is a rookie free agent, who is only making, under $1 million a year, he's playing pretty good. He shut out Joey Bosa. So if you're La'el Collins, you don't want that guy out there playing anymore. You want to get your job because you can, you know, hey, this brother is doing what you're doing for about, you know, $8 million less. Right?
That and just the whole attitude of this team. Everybody knows, doesn't matter who you are, if you're not performing, you're not playing. And if Terrence Steele is doing the job that he's doing, you could be an affordable adios. Save some money next year. I
Okay.
don't want them to do that. I want to keep Lyle Collins.
Well, okay. And let me go ahead again and let me say
I'd
one.
much rather have Lyle Collins than Terrence Steele. I don't want to
I
sound
understand
like
that, but see, here's the thing: we can all have things that we want. I'd love to
Right.
have a 50-foot long brand new RV, but the reality is, I don't have the funds to get that sucker.
We got to
okay?
find that money somewhere.
So, this is the problem for football: is you only have so much money to go around. So now this is the third person that you have to look at, because Jalen Smith's deal was about money, right? It's about money, because if Jalen Smith was making the same as Keanu O'Neal, he'd still be here. So now you have to think about a guy like Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup, you've been gone for 3 games already. We got the number 1 offense in the NFL, or excuse me, close to, I don't know, or top 5 offense in the NFL. We don't seem to have any problems pushing the ball down the field. So you look at that and say, do I pay Michael Gallup, 10, 12, $13 million a year, or do I rely on the guys that I have? I got Semi, who's coming up in there I don't feel too bad about. We know that the third wide receiver, because of CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and Zeke Elliott and everything else, you don't have to be great to be that third wide receiver and have an impact.
And Cedric Wilson's a free agent, I believe, but he'd be cheap to re-sign and come back.
So do you take a Cedric Wilson for a $3-4 million deal, or do you sign Michael Gallup? And here's the other part of this too. This is the other part.
I don't want to answer this question because I like number 13 too much.
No, but I understand that. But here's the thing, though. No, I want you just hear me out here for a second. If you had a choice of saying, pay Michael Gallup $14 million and keep him, right, or sign Cedric Wilson for $3 million and get a 3rd round compensatory pick. That's what you're talking about. You know that Michael Gallup is going to get a big-ass contract out there. You know he could. And that means compensatory pick.
If he hits the market, he'll get paid.
Right. Okay.
And unfortunately, because where we're at on cap space, you would have to take the Cedric Wilson coming back.
But you also get let's say at least a 4th.
You have a choice.
You get at least a 4th round draft pick. And where was this team? Where was this team built this year? This defense? The draft. You got OC out there, right? OC out there, 7 pressures.
Talking Collins, I was thinking draft picks.
All right. You got Micah Parsons. Now, he was a 1st round pick, but you can look at Golston, who was a 3rd round pick. That we got
Tyrone Crawford. You were talking about Crawford.
There you go.
There he is.
All right, so you see where I'm going with this. So let's say it is Lyle Collins. Lyle Collins will get paid out there too.
Yeah.
So you could say, I let go Lyle Collins and Michael Gallup. I'm not recommending. Don't send me your hate mail. Do not send me your hate mail. Okay.
Mark said get rid of Gallup. He doesn't like
it. No. I'm putting out hypotheticals, because if you get rid of Lyle Collins, his contract's not over, so forget that one. You'd have to cut him.
You'd have to trade him.
You'd have to trade him, but you could probably trade Lyle Collins. I mean,
yeah,
okay,
easy.
Because this is where you look at this, and I'll even go another step further.
That's why I was thinking draft.
I could say Connor Williams. You got Connor McGovern that's sitting behind there too. You could say Connor McGovern can play guard. Connor Williams can go out there and get a contract, and you get another compensatory pick. And this, my friends, is what New England has done forever. They win the Super Bowl and turn around and have 12 picks the next year. I'm not sure that it's always Bill Belichick being the genius as much as it is, I just have more picks, and I only have to hit on half of them. If I got 12 picks and I get 6 players every year, I'm ahead of the curve.
And with our front office, Will McClay, and this coaching staff, so far you've got nothing but a smile on your face with this draft class and the potential that it has.
That's what I'm saying. And that's where teams are built. As much as like Colin Cowherd, the Cowboys, they're always into their homegrown talent, that they don't take risk on guys like, Jalen Ramsey, or, going for Jamal Adams and things like that. Yeah, well, you're not giving up a couple of number ones, because we start talking about number ones, we're talking about like guys like Micah Parsons, okay? We're talking about CeeDee Lamb. So are we saying that CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons are the same as Jamal Adams? Because that's what you're talking about. Oh, no, in a third round. So OC on top of it. Because that's literally what the Rams, what Seattle gave up for Jamal Adams. And the crazy thing is they gave up all that capital for Jamal Adams, and their defense is still terrible.
And it's not fantasy football. It's the four-letter network, short attention span type of people that are, you don't go get the Adams, and then you don't have CD, you don't have Parsons, you don't have Golson, like you were talking about.
Right.
But what we do, it doesn't always work, but we do take a chance on a guy that has first-round talent in a Malik Hooker that's coming off an injury.
Yeah.
On a Kazi that's coming off an injury.
Well,
those guys look like they're making.
Let's be clear. The Cowboys have always
curse out there.
Let's be clear. The Cowboys have always looked for a discount because Jalen Smith was a discount, Sean Lee was a discount. Because they have the injury history. And unfortunately, most of the times we've been looking for those discounted players. It hasn't really worked out always. Somebody was asking if there's a possibility if they think that this becomes a distraction for the team.
You can take that, though, instead of making a trade like you're talking about for Jamal Adams, where you're giving up 3 picks that turned into
Junebug. Shout out to Junebug.
Sorry, go ahead.
Shout out to super chat from Junebug. Thank you very much on that one. Dark Vader says, I think Leighton Vander Esch will be next. Well, Vander Esch, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to cut him. There's no here's the difference between Jalen Smith and Vander Esch. Vander Esch's contract, I think, is only like $3 million or $4 million. It's not a whole lot of money in the grand scheme of things, and there's no guarantee for next year. Jalen Smith is $9.2 million next year injury, and had they held on to him and they'd waited till the end of the season, they still would have had some dead money on it. By cutting him now, there's no dead money at all whatsoever. It's done. They have to pay him for this year, that's $7.2 million on there, but they don't have to pay anything else after this year. So from the grand scheme of things, this was the cheapest way to get rid of him at the moment. Because he had wrist surgery, they couldn't cut him in the offseason. Okay, you can't let go of a guy when he's injured unless you have an injury settlement. And so they said they tried quite a bit the last 2 weeks to trade him. The thing that kind of gets me wondering, Stu, is the fact that they made him team captain last week. Did Mike McCarthy not know that this was in the works?
Well, I think they did know, and I think that's why they named him the team captain, because he has done a lot of good for the team and for the community. Has played not so desirable the last year or two, but he has done a lot of good, and he has been a good representative of the organization.
Oh, and guess what?
As a token last goodwill gesture, maybe, if that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah. Hey, you can't feel sorry for him because, he did get that second contract with $35 million guaranteed.
Playing for the Dallas Cowboys, making all that money. You got to play with your brother at one point in your career.
Right. Hello, Joseph Heatherly. How are you doing today?
Nothing but blessings there for him, and he's still playing.
Yeah.
So I wish him the best the rest of his career for sure.
I agree with it full-heartedly. Like I said, I like Jalen Smith. I'm happy that he got a job with the Packers real quick. I wish him well, except when he plays the Cowboys. And move on. There's a lot of people that out there mad. Like I said, I know Jalen Smith. I know Vander Esch is a little bit upset. Zeke Elliott basically took it like it's business. He's like, I heard about it on social media and everything else. And feel bad about it, but we can't let this become a distraction because guys come and go on the football field. Be it being cut, be it through injuries, you got to be used to this. And this is where, when everybody keeps saying, oh, Dak should take a team-friendly deal. Guys, there's no loyalty from the team to the players. Once they're done with you and you can't perform and we can find somebody who can do it cheaper, you're gone. It doesn't matter what contract you signed.
On the human level, for them as friends in the locker room, it's got to be tough. But at the same time, they're millionaires playing a game, and they know that.
Yeah.
And they know that it can be any given Sunday.
And I don't want to trash him, but, the thing that killed me was, when he was saying that the defense was too complex. It's like, dude, you're getting paid $10 million a year. I'm going to study my ass off and learn it. For that kind of money, you got 16 games where you play an hour. 16 games that you play an hour. It behooves you to figure it out or ask for extra help.
Maybe he learned from not doing that last year, and he does that when he gets to Green Bay.
Well, and the thing that actually the sad part about it is I think having Dan Quinn putting him into positions to be more successful and not being an every down linebacker, because that was the problem. You're tired and you have a foot that's still not completely healed. And it doesn't, you get burnt. But him playing less snaps, he was more effective.
Well, and you got to imagine that'll be the way it is in Green Bay. I don't think he's just going to walk in and
Cowboys up north. No, we're not. Actually, what we're going to have to do, unfortunately, Brother Ross, he just texted me. He's got a family emergency, so he's not going to be on. So you just get to look at me and beautiful Stu. You just get to look at our two wonderful faces. I tell you what we'll do is we'll pick tomorrow night's game in case we do not get this done before the game. And let me look up the point spread.
And we'll record the pick show for the rest of the games tomorrow.
I don't know what the point spread is. Let's see. Pulling it up here. That's not the right site.
I'd pull it up on my computer, but the white makes everything so bright in my face.
Okay, my computer is acting. My computer is doing a. My computer's acting like it's tired. All right, for tomorrow night's Seattle Seahawks game versus the Rams.
That's going to be a good one. And that's at Seattle.
Seattle is getting 2.5 points at home. Okay. I am not on the bandwagon of the Rams being the best team in football. I'm thinking that they came out the gates real hard. I always say that you don't really know what teams are until really about the middle of October. David Wiley was up. I got to talk to you about this weekend, David, too. And I actually want to talk to you about a Cowboys cake, too. I think I need a Dallas Cowboys cake. And maybe you can figure out how I can get one of those. Going to Seattle. Seattle will be able to have fans there. And I'm still not sold yet on Matthew Stafford. I'm still just not on there. Just not there yet. I have been to Seattle to see the Dallas Cowboys versus the Seattle Seahawks in the infamous game that Sean Lee got jacked up by, God, what's his name? Wide receiver. He came across, Sean Lee didn't see him, turned right into it and got jacked up. But being in that stadium, and now that we actually have fans, it is like being inside of a jet engine. No joke. It's literally like being inside a jet engine. The sound reverberates from the top of that place on down. There's no home field advantage like that in Seattle. And I am going to take the Seattle Seahawks and the 2 points there.
I'll let you come back to that. You can stay with that. But first, let me point out for the Seahawks, they're at home, but Chris Carson has a neck injury. He hasn't been practicing, so that means they're going with probably Alex Collins at running back.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken,
Russell Wilson against Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. And Seattle at home.
I do believe the Rams have something good going with that defense and Stafford behind the wheel. And I haven't had good vibes about Seattle all season, so I'm going to go with the Rams.
You going to take the Rams? Okay.
I'll take the Rams to win it, which means I'll take the points for the Rams too.
All right. You mean you minus 2 points?
Right.
Yeah. You lose. You're giving away 2.5 points. I'll take those points. Okay. All right. So we got that one in the books at least. It's funny. I keep seeing
field goal. I'll take it.
Everybody's talking about Cop Pizzle's video, but Mark don't want nothing to do with it. I ain't even seen the video. I've got. I'll be quite honest with you. When you say Cop Pizzle, it's like okay, it's kind of like a, mosquito on my arm or something like that.
The bear sits in the woods, but there's nobody there to see it. Did it really happen?
It seemed like y'all the ones talking about it and all that. But if you're talking about, understand, I'm the old guy on the front porch, saying, get the fuck off my lawn. Cop Pizzle, get the fuck off my lawn. I am not betting my hair with nobody. Sorry, ain't going to happen. If you want to come up with something else, because here's what's kind of funny. When Philly 500 put up the belt, it was just the belt. The belt transferred from Philly's hands to Cop Pizzle's. So why is this belt all of a sudden now supposed to be Mark Holmes shaving his head and get an egg cracked on it? Are you crazy or just plain stupid?
The bet is the belt.
I mean, come on. The bet is the belt. So what is this? Y'all just want some YouTube drama that you ain't going to get over here. Yeah, you ain't getting it over here, buddy. Sorry. Ain't gonna get it here. If you
tell Pizzle to take the bet about the "Who's Your Daddy" T-shirt.
If you want to call me a little punk ass, fine. Call me a punk ass, but that's some young pups bullshit there. That ain't me.
Philly 500 took the bet, took it like a man too. I texted him today. Props and respect on that. Philly's.
Joseph Heatherly. Who cares about Pizzle? I want to see Pizzle stroke out when they lose on Sunday. Yeah, that's what we all look forward to.
Oh, we get to watch Rasheed and Pizzle melt down on Sunday. This will be fun.
I tell you what, I've got to let me bring something in here because see, Pizzle wants me to shave my head. I think that this is actually more fitting to have to do this walk of shame.
Here, and so before we start this video, I gotta get this mother humping thing out of the way. Mark Holmes is my daddy. Okay, that's out of the way. Ow!
Oh, Lordy. Okay. All right. So, Mark Holmes is his daddy. So, Pizzle?
I can't wait till we play him in week 8.
Pizzle?
In JSR.
I'd wear the shirt. You know what? If the Giants beat me, I would say Jason Garrett and Pizzle are my daddy. I would. I'd do that. I'm all on board on that one. So, what else you got to add? How do we do this past week in fantasy football?
We were across the 5 JSR leagues, 4-1.
4-1. Okay. 4-1. Okay. We lost to Troy, right?
I believe so, yes.
Because we don't
Troy
have
Daniels
that.
got us with Hunter Renfro on Monday night. Sealed the deal. Troy Daniels got us there. Kept us from the clean sweep.
Damn. Okay. You got my quarterback.
We did get Dak Prescott. Yes.
Yep. All right. Well, I tell you what. So everybody who's in here, don't go too far away because at 10 o'clock I'll be doing a live stream with the Dingbat Philly 500, as well as my man Rio and Bad Dog. You know, we're going to be mixing it up with Bad Dog. Oh, and in New York, guys, this weekend, I'm going to get another shot. I'm basically going to take an IV of coffee here and try and wake the hell up here. Stu, I appreciate you as always. Thank you for Michelle's fantasy football team is looking awesome. You are making her look like she is the bomb in fantasy football.
She's doing well. Second overall in the league.
And definitely I appreciate all the work that you're doing. If you hear anything on Roz and find out what's going on, let me know. Just make sure that he's okay. And for everybody else, come back in 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Because I'm putting a foot in Philly's ass. I ain't going to lie to you. I am going to put a foot in Philly 500's ass for somehow getting me tied up in this cop pizzle bullshit. Yeah, I just... David Puno, what's up, man? How you doing? So, with that being said, you know how we roll. We gonna get up out of here as soon as I can find out where the lights are.
The party's over. They say that all good
Have a good night, everybody.
Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next